and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, all about helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got a great lineup for you today. We got John Long going to be in the house. He's from the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. We commonly talk about the open border and what's happening, what's coming through the border, and the challenges that poses to families and the traffickers coming along with that, the drugs, fentanyl coming through. We got Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage, talk about her cash guarantee program. They've got a great program for buyers that are looking to have that competitive advantage when you're looking at placing offers on real estate. Cash guarantee program from Diane Vance coming up here. It's Doug Levi as well. Strategic insurance, hurricane season coming up in the middle of it technically, but the heat is coming up later in the year. We'll see that. We'll talk about policies, and also another carrier bites the dust. 80,000 policies are going to have to be sold off, rewritten, however that process works. We're going to talk to our expert, Doug Levi, the insurance expert, strategic insurance, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, coming up here in just one moment. We like to feature our real estate listings, help our sellers profit more, sell faster, get that maximum exposure for you when you're selling real estate here in Tampa Bay. The Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Hot listing here at 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. This is a beautiful $1 million listing that we've got. It's a corner lot home, gated community, $1.159 million at 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. This is a beautiful property and a great opportunity to get a pool, lanai, fenced-in backyard, gorgeous home, elevator inside as well, and a beautiful staircase that goes up to the second floor. And it is a large home, 5,200 square feet, and a great opportunity to own real estate here in beautiful Tampa Bay. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And a quick shout out to our friends over at Replenish IV Solutions. It's a safe and effective way to restore your body's crucial systems with vitamins, nutrients, enabling your body to perform at optimal levels. Say hello to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan, Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And let's go ahead and bring in Doug Levi here, Strategic Insurance. And Doug, bad times for the insurance industry in Florida. Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah. Well, good afternoon, Brandon, and good day, Tampa Bay. But bad day, Tampa Bay, for some of these carriers. I know I've joked with you we need to play the cue up the, I think it was that Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a carrier named Southern Fidelity. So that's the latest that just went out of business last week. The official liquidation order came down from the state. They've got about 80,000 policies here in the state of Florida. So if you are a Southern Fidelity policyholder, if that name sounds familiar at all, really important, you've got 30 days in essence to find other coverage. So we've already started our process with the clients that we have. Fortunately, we didn't have a lot of Southern Fidelity policyholders, but we've already started our internal process, reaching out to them, making sure they're getting great service and finding next best carrier and best coverage. But for those that are not with our agency right now, check out TampaBayInsurance.com, and we'll be happy to help.
Yeah, what a challenging time. I mean, you get stuff showing up in your mailbox, and it's like one more thing for that, that single parent or that family to deal with. And, we're dealing with inflation, gas prices, all kinds of stuff. But now you got to reshop your insurance policy.
It's really hard. And, there was just an article on ABC Action News this morning that I was reading. So, and the article says the price of paradise, Florida homeowners paying nearly 3 times the national average for home insurance. Right. So and this is literally right from the article today on ABC Action News right here in Tampa, that the average premium in Florida now is $4,200 a year. And you compare that with the national average of about $1,500 a year. So that's a tremendous burden. I mean, there's no doubt. I've been in the business almost 20 years. I'm seeing it firsthand with our clients and, our friends in other parts of the state, Brandon, like South Florida. And, it's just incredibly expensive. So, the best thing you can do as a consumer to look out, again, reach out to us, reach out to a good independent agent, make sure you're reviewing all the discounts available, make sure you're getting an updated wind mitigation if you've got a new roof, and that you're doing all the little things to look that you're getting the best coverage and best pricing that's still out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at this article here that you sent, and it says the gap is just increasing further and further. The terms average percentage increases, we're seeing over 30% in Florida. The average in the U.S. is under 10%, and that was from Mark Freelander, the Insurance Information Institute. So, yeah, it's a challenging time. And you mentioned South Florida. I mean, I was reading an article and listening to a newscast that was talking about South Florida. Just the amount of rents increases in that Dade County, Miami-Dade, and Palm Beaches. The increase that they're seeing in rents year after year was unbelievable as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, obviously we know inflation is an all-time high. Certainly don't think the current administration's handled many situations well and put us in a very challenging spot as regular consumers between gas prices. You look at rent, the cost of food. Certainly here in Florida, the cost of homeowners insurance, it's extreme. And and look, we're right going to get into the throes of hurricane season. I mean, hurricane season really starts to heat up, around the middle of July. Traditionally, Brandon, August is the biggest month for hurricanes in the country, and certainly here in Florida. So, I want to also just take a minute to just remind people out there, if you haven't already, now's a great time to review your hurricane plan. Do you have a hurricane plan? Do you have 3 days of food and water? Do you have plenty of flashlights and batteries? Can you put your hands on all of your vital, important documents like your insurance policy and the deed to your home and your mortgage and various things, or do you have them saved electronically, right? So now is the time to really do some of that planning, so that you're not, at a mad dash with everyone else at Publix and Home Depot.
Yeah, absolutely. I order, bottles of water, have it in the garage, the big 5-gallon ones, and then I've got the, the bottles I love to drink, like the sparkling water. So order a bunch of extra water, have it in your garage, and get your generator out and start it. You got to recycle that, get that gas it sits in there, and sometimes you got to change it out even, but get it out there. Hurricane Prep Talk here with Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance. It's that time of the year, and you got to be diligent, protect your family, and also think about getting your concealed carry going with Florida Firearms Academy. Things happen, turns into a war zone in some cases. Just ask people in New Orleans what happened. I spoke to some folks personally that I knew in that situation, and yes, there's lawlessness that happens. So start thinking about Florida Firearms Academy, Thomas King over there as well. So we got Doug Levi here, Strategic Insurance. You got your URLs on websites, a couple different URLs for people to check out too, Doug.
Yeah, TampaBayInsurance.com. That's the one that's the easiest one to remember. Just TampaBayInsurance.com, all spelled out. You can literally live chat with our team right there. You can get some great resources and information. We try to post a lot of the updates and changes that are going on in the Florida marketplace. And, we're really here with a servant's heart. We're here to help the community. We have all the major carriers that are still alive, if you will. So we still have over 15 companies. And I will say, a lot of times, Brandon, we are seeing Citizens is a lot of times the best option. Traditionally, Citizens has been the state-backed insurer, the insurer, quote-unquote, a last resort. And right now, they're really a pretty good option for a lot of people. I mean, we're seeing times where, it's the state, you're going to get paid eventually, and the pricing is not as bad as one may think. So that's always an option. We still have other admitted carriers, depending on the age and condition of the home, that would take a look at it. But, again, this is a big issue our state's facing. On that article that we were just talking about, Citizens has grown by almost 50% year over year, and they will finish the year with over 1 million policies in force. So, and at the end of the day, the Citizens insurance is really funded by the Florida taxpayer. So, the more that competition and normalcy can return to the Florida market will be a good thing for everyone.
Yeah, so Citizens is kind of the catch-all?
Yeah, so Citizens is, yes, they are the court of last resort. They really started originally back in the early 90s, shortly after after Hurricane Andrew in '92 that did so much damage to the state. It's hard to believe that was 30 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
And they were started as the Joint Underwriting Association, and basically a fallback where you have clients who said, I can't find any insurance in the private marketplace. And so this started the Citizens Insurance, what we have in force today. And Citizens can kind of be a political football a little bit and oftentimes can be maligned, but frankly, they provide a great service and resource because if it wasn't for Citizens, again, the economy, for lack of a better term, would grind to a halt here in Florida. Because, again, Brandon, as we've talked before, while most people don't want insurance, you want to buy a home and you're going to have a mortgage, the mortgage company requires you to have insurance. So it's really critical for that whole process.
Right.
And certainly in terms of the economics of it. And it's something that we all need to be thoughtful, prayerful about, and hope that some of the changes that just got made in this legislative session, there was a special session at the end of May, and they did make some changes that hopefully some of those things help return some normalcy to the process here in Florida.
Right. Yeah, I want to play a quick clip here because folks are getting squeezed from all different angles: gas, food. It's just unbelievable. But the consumer discretionary spending. I want to play a quick clip.
Bonds are normally a flight to safety phenomenon. They normally enjoy a flight to safety phenomenon. That is not happening right now because there is no safety. Why? Because of Biden's inflation. So let me show you on a couple of charts. I think it's important to try to get visuals on this. Financial markets are closed today here in the United States, which maybe is a good thing because people wanted to pull their hair out looking at their portfolios for today. But to prepare them for the week, let's take a look at two charts. If we go to chart number one, this is consumer discretionary. This is the XLY, which is an ETF that groups together a lot of big consumer discretionary names that all of the audience would know. Big names like Amazon and Nike and Disney, those kinds of names. Look at that chart, what it has done so far this year. It is getting pasted, absolutely obliterated, down 37% from the highs of January, okay? And these are massive, big companies. You don't typically see a sector that is this big and liquid trade down in this kind of manner.
So yeah, Doug, the big name companies, they're down 37% since January, and they're talking about this energy situation and saying, hey, just go buy an electric vehicle, for homeowners or for folks that are you think about fuel prices, and then they want to try to blame everything on the war, the Ukraine situation. So it's just crazy times right now. What's your advice to folks out there?
And it's just tone deaf to me, right? I mean, I feel that's a very tone deaf and very arrogant say, go buy an electric vehicle that's $70,000 where, that person may be struggling to determine, okay, am I going to pay my insurance? Am I going to pay my rent? Or I'm going to fill up my car every week, right? Mm-hmm. So just very, very tone deaf. Listen, I think in terms of what advice or recommendations is be proactive, not reactive. That's always been a motto that we've talked about on this show, and I love the heart of that you have, Brandon, and the heart for the show, and you bring such great show partners on to help educate people. But frankly, when the economy is booming and everything's great and inflation is low, maybe you don't care as much about your insurance. You just let it ride, and you don't really notice it much. But I'll promise you this, if you haven't noticed it much, this year you will. And so now it's time to be very proactive. Reach out to us or reach out to a good independent agent that you work with or trust to review the market. Make sure you're doing an analysis that you've got the proper coverage on your home. The other thing that we're talking about as well is, and we're seeing quite a bit, Brandon, is because there's such inflation going on, the cost to build a home today compared to a year ago or 2 years ago is drastically different. It's likely up anywhere from 20 to 30%. So if you haven't looked at your home insurance recently, you very well may be underinsured. You may need to make some adjustments that the normal every year 3 or 4% the carriers typically give you for an increase is probably not sufficient. So again, the message is just, be proactive, not reactive. We'd love to help any of the listeners out there. Easiest thing to do is reach out to us at TampaBayInsurance.com.
TampaBayInsurance.com, ConsumerQB.com as well for the QB show, and we can put you in touch with Doug. You get that review. So basically, there's a couple things to think about. So can you save money? Is there a way to? Gary Keller wrote the book Millionaire Real Estate Agent. He wrote a book called Shift. But in these times when the market is shifting and there is a recession coming, there's a couple things you can do. Spend less. Cut off some of the subscriptions. Cut off some of the things that you may not, need, or try to figure out where you can save a little bit here and there. And then also, so spend less or earn more, right? Make more money, earn more. So then the other side of that is, get creative with what you're doing, maybe some passive type of income. Doug has a insurance side hustle program. Keller Williams Realty has a free online real estate class. Maybe you get your license. Maybe you start referring 3 or 4 or 5, 15 real estate deals a year, making 25% referral fee on those referrals just by simply getting a free online real estate class and then passing the state test, and you're talking to people about real estate. And then, Doug, talk about your insurance side hustle.
Yeah, so our insurance side hustle program, Brandon, is really we help show people where they can do home and auto insurance, being an agent, remote, part-time, and from home. And that's really the model. So with technology, things have changed so much, especially post-COVID. And we can help people get licensed within about 2 weeks. And if they help 10 families a month with their home and auto insurance, they'll earn about $40,000 a year. So, that's not bad part-time income, right? And that's not saying that it has to be your full-time gig, but for some people, who knows, maybe there's an opportunity that there is a career change or some interest in, the freedom and flexibility that we have in our industry, and then also the opportunity to help people, right? We start with the premises that, we offer what everyone needs and already budgets for. Everyone who drives a car has auto insurance. Everyone who owns a home, for the most part, has homeowners insurance. So really able to start from that premise, and a lot of times you are able to help people save money and or find gaps in coverage or better educate them, better position them so they understand what exactly they've got. So people can check that out, insurancesidehustling.com, all spelled out, insurancesidehustling.com. And we've helped lots of people here in the Tampa Bay area over the last few years come on board and start to earn some part-time income.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance, thanks so much. Appreciate you calling in, and we'll talk to you next time.
Sounds good, Brandon. Everybody have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
You too. Likewise. All right, taking a break. Coming back, Diane Vance, Fairway Independent Mortgage Consumer Quarterback Show, DianeVance.com. And make sure you check out Doug's websites. He's got the Tampa Bay Insurance.com, InsuranceSideHustling.com as well. We'll be right back after the short break. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Martin Gramatica, that is, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Super Bowl winner, Lifeguard Imaging, lifeguardimaging.com, saving lives through early detection.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Yes, that's what we're doing at Lifeguard Imaging. You come in asymptomatic, and that's what we do. You're being proactive. You're coming in. We do a scan from the neck to the pelvis. It's a full body scan. It's a 3D image of every organ, and that's where 90% of the deadliest cancers are, in our mid region. So we can see everything. But for your listeners, we have a real good special. We have a $599 value, absolutely complimentary. They can come in for a coronary artery scan, which will give you their calcium score, 100% complimentary for your people.
Very cool. Hey, take them up on that offer, 813-917-1894. Call or text, complimentary scan, 813-917-1894, and check them out online, lifeguardimaging.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, coming up with Diane Vance here in just a moment. Before we do, I want to let you know about one of our hot listings here, 27641 Lincoln Place, Wesley Chapel. This is a gorgeous property. This is a pool home on 3.24 acres, so it's got a large lot. Got that country feel there in Pasco County, Wesley Chapel, and there's a lot of new infrastructure being put in close by as well, so you got some really easy commutes all the way down to Tampa International Airport. 27641 Lincoln Place, Wesley Chapel, 3,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, 3.24 acre lot, Saddlewood Estates, and a beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay. Great opportunity to own some land. Everybody wants to have a little bit bigger yard, and that's a 3.24 acre lot for you available. And you can see all of our listings, platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Buy dirt, find one you can't live without.
All right, we got Diane Vance on the line here. Diane, Fairway Independent Mortgage, welcome back.
Well, hey, Brandon, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you. And yourself?
Good. I'm doing great. Beautiful day in Florida.
Absolutely, and I just love this cash guarantee program. I think it gives the buyers an edge out there.
It really does, especially now. And so it gives them the guarantee. The way it works is we go ahead and get them fully approved. And so everything has to be done. And we get them fully approved as our Advantage program, which means they don't have a property yet. We get them fully approved, and then we go ahead and do an addendum to the contract when they actually do find a home that can be presented to the seller. So if something happens, let's say they lose their job or something like that, in this crazy market that we're in right now, who knows? So if anything happens where they can't qualify for the home, at the end, we guarantee the closing date. And if it doesn't happen, then we will buy the seller's home, or we'll give them $10,000. They have the choice.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's a really cool program. Are you noticing with the slowdown, of course, the federal funds rate changed. I think they raised it like 75 bips. Looks like it's going to be going again soon. So you've got, of course, that translate into higher, it's not a direct correlation, but higher mortgage rates. And then that curbs demand. So demand is down now. The absorption rates are falling in Pasco and Pinellas County is about 16%. More inventory now, and then you've got the days on market going up. Now, also, you have the problem with potential for appraisals. Have you noticed appraisals issues? Kind of a little uptick in that.
Well, we haven't recently. It's typically the appraisal part kind of follows. It's a little bit behind. So we haven't really noticed that. But I will tell you, when the Fed actually raised it to by the 75 basis points, it actually calmed the interest rates down. They actually have dropped a little bit. So what happens is the hedge fund, well, how should I say this? So mortgage companies hedge their interest rates. So anytime there's an uncertainty, then what they do is they tend to go in with the worst case scenario, which was not that he was going to raise it by 75 basis points.
Right.
So then once he did, then that calms the market down, where the volatility on the mortgage bonds it goes back to some normalcy. It actually, I think the 10-year bond today is 3.01, which is down probably almost 0.25 in basis points. So that helps the interest rates actually calm down a little bit. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for some stability. The mortgage-backed securities, when people invest in that, they look for some stability. And they haven't
that
had
was a good
stability.
move, actually, finally, to raise the rates. It took them a long time. They should have done it a lot earlier.
A lot ago.
A lot of people.
A long time ago.
So basically what you're saying, in long and short, it comes down to perception and expectations, like what they're expecting the market to do. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back on the other side, more with Diane. Diane, I want to focus on rents as well. There's some interesting stats. I got a clip I want to play coming out of South Florida in terms of the year-over-year rental increases that people are seeing, and they've got to get into home ownership. DianeVance.com, Fairway Independent Mortgage Consumer Quarterback Show. Taking a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Team, Keller Williams Realty. Connect with the show a couple different ways. brimes@kw.com. You can submit a quick email, brimes@kw.com. Consumerqb.com is the website. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. And, of course, you can reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. We were talking with Doug Levi earlier. He's got the insurance side hustle going on, Strategic Insurance. Diane Vance as well. DianeVance.com. You can connect with her directly. Cash Guarantee. Cool program. Rents are up. And before we jump back into that, I want to let you know about a hot listing here that we've got in Tampa Bay. We got a property at 9031 122nd Avenue. This is a $4.5 million listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. It's part of our commercial division. Vacant land, 15 acres of vacant land at the corner of I-75 and Fowler Avenue. So please refer this out. It's right off of Old Morris Bridge Road as well, 122nd Avenue in Tampa, right off of I-75. 15.56 acres, prime development opportunity, great visibility from I-75, and the owner's willing to split it up as well, sell separately. And great opportunity right here in beautiful Tampa Bay, 9031 122nd Avenue in Tampa. It's a beautiful property right off of I-75, $4.5 million listing from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. You can see all of our listings, Platinum MVP team. .kw.com. All right, Diane, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the rents going on. You know, insurance, Doug Levi was just talking about insurance, 3 times the national average here in Florida. And, you know, homeowners are getting squeezed. Consumers are getting squeezed at the pump, at the gas station, at the food, everywhere you go. Rents are also astronomical right now.
Oh, yeah. They have definitely increased. And the same thing that was going on in the housing market was going on in the rental market. There's a shortage of rental properties, and that's why they're building so many apartments and things like that. But the thing is that because of the increases of exactly what you're talking about, insurance and things like that, they are increasing rents more than a normal rate. I read somewhere that our rents are one of the highest in the country. Increases.
They are.
Been the highest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the clip I'm going to play here in just a moment, just a minute here. I'm going to play a clip about that. And, it's a challenge because we want to talk about, what's causing that, right? And I also want to talk about, what's happening with these hedge funds getting, zero cost loans, essentially handouts from the government, buying up assets, and then, of course, forcing people, and I'm talking about veterans, first responders, I'm talking about first-time buyers, they're forcing people into these rental situations because you get these huge companies. You're talking about $10 trillion companies like BlackRock and Vanguard and buying up real estate. So why don't I play that quick clip, and then I want Diane to talk about the rent versus own. Whenever we bring up an issue, we always want to try to provide a solution, right? So I've got a solution for this for you, for our audience. We're going to take special care of you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show like we do. Quick clip talking about the rents in Florida.
What about housing? The rental market is also at a incredible peak right now. Is this nationwide, or are we seeing spikes in certain locations?
Yeah, it is happening nationwide, but some areas are certainly seeing really shocking spikes. There are some eye-popping increases in the rental market here. Bloomberg is reporting a 14% increase for a single-family rental from April of last year to this year. Now, the numbers do get more interesting when you start looking at location, especially in the Sunshine State. The median rent in South Florida is just under $3,000 a month, up a whopping 57% in just a year, according to rental.com. That site shows Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach areas leading the way with the largest percentage increases in the country.
All right, so yeah, we get the point. So 57%, and this a lot of this, I think the majority of that, it's because of what's going on with the government. It's what's going on with ESG scores and how that translate into the finance industry, and so they're putting politics into lending and financing and buying these assets. So they're buying assets, turning people into renters, and then it's just a bad look for Florida, for the our government to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how much that clip, because that's crazy. And you can actually purchase homes for the amount that you're paying in rent. You can actually, that monthly payment will be similar. We can actually show that to you. I will tell you also that just for first-time home buyers and all the frontline workers and people like that, tomorrow we are sponsored. We're one of the platinum sponsors, the City of Tampa Homeownership event, and it's at the convention center from 9:30 to 3:30. And if first-time home buyers would like to come learn more about purchasing a home, they can do that.
What's the actual date on that? I want to make sure we don't confuse our audience. Say
June
again?
25th. I'm sorry, June 25th.
June 25th. Okay.
Yep, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
9 a.m. Got it.
Yeah. So, so it's definitely there's a lot of programs out there to help buyers, especially when they are frontline workers. There's a state program that we will give up to not us. The state will help up to $25,000. It's actually 5% of the loan amount.
Wow.
So they will actually help the frontline workers, which are teachers, medical workers, veterans, but you have to be a first-time home buyer program. That's the first-time home buyers. But we, as Fairway, are offering a $1,500 credit for frontline workers, which is the same thing that the state's doing, and actually it was quite by accident. So if you're not a first-time home buyer, if you don't qualify for that program, or you make too much money or something like that, we also have a program that is $1,500 towards closing costs. So we're trying to do everything we can to help first-time home buyers and frontline workers, and anybody that wants to purchase home. We're trying to help them be able to do that. But
that's awesome.
It is crazy that rents have went up as much as they have. I honestly, what was the average? Almost $3,000? Is that what they said?
I think so. Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. So you definitely can buy a home for probably on a monthly payment less than $3,000, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even with factoring in your escrows and things of that nature, you're still going to win in the long run. Even if you're close, even if it's close, and maybe you're paying a little bit more. I mean, you're going to win. You're going to build up appreciation. I mean, look at you see these different stories. You hear, oh well, my grandma bought that house down in St. Pete in mid 1900s, right? And now it's worth $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. So that trend will continue. Right, Diane?
Yeah, Absolutely. Even if it goes back to the average of 4 to 5%, let's say it goes back to that average, even if that, which I think everybody's always moving to Florida, so that kind of keeps the prices moving upward.
Right.
But even with that, you're still better off because you are building equity in your own home. And they've actually proven that with families, children are happier. They feel more stable. Everybody's happier because then it's theirs. So, the dream of home ownership has always been very important to a lot of people. When you think about what people have to put down on a rental that's, $3,000 a month, they have to put money down as a deposit.
Right.
They may have to pay their first month, rent or something like that, security deposits, things like that. They could be very close to actually being able to purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got the rent versus own analysis. So if you want to give us a call, and again, introduce us to someone in your family. Maybe you're the uncle, the aunt, the grandfather. You're listening to this and you're thinking about your nephew, your niece, your cousins. You be the one to take the initiative and put us in touch. But reach out to the show hotline 813-917-1894. Diane Vance can do a rent versus own analysis. So again, if you've got somebody in your family that is renting and they're in this position, you're thinking about it. You're saying, hey, maybe I should. Yes, give us a call at 813-917-1894, and we're going to make sure we take great care of your referral that you send to us. And it's going to be a rent versus own analysis. So it's going to break down rent versus what you could own, all of the advantages. Diane's going to put it on a nice, simple spreadsheet, I believe, in an email potentially. And Diane, smooth process, right?
Yep, it is. And it's always a good idea to start somewhere. Go ahead and get started, depending on when your lease is up. We can work around that, but it's a good idea to know where you stand at this point. So I go over, the different types of down payment that you can actually have, where you can get those from. Just don't wait until you're, go out and start shopping. You want to do it ahead of time so that you're actually very well prepared.
Absolutely. All right. DianeVance.com, Fairway Independent Mortgage. Diane Vance, longtime friend of the program. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you, and you have a great week.
Likewise. All right, taking a quick break. Coming back with John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. And we got a feel-good story of the day, summer trades program, marking its third year offering teens exposure to different trade careers. I love that story. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, everybody, it's the Captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy, Brandon Rhymes, a consumer quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, we're back. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Every day we tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
All All right, so I love this program. This is the Summer Trades Program out of Brooksville, Florida, third-year Career Source Pro, Pasco Hernando and Pasco Hernando State College Summer Trades Program. Full swing along the month-long experience for 16 to 18-year-old kids, possible trades in construction. And there's a quote saying, we target mostly low-income families because otherwise they wouldn't have these access to these resources, says Desiree Huff, Workforce Development Coordination, Career Source, Pasco Hernando. This year, 81 students taking part in the program, including Dominic, who's 17, who says part of the group is focusing on a construction track. And he says, he's quoted as saying, it does open your eyes to different stuff. Like my grandpa, he did a lot of construction. I always see him working. It was really cool. So that's a quote from the kid there. But a pretty cool program. Partnership between Pasco Hernando State College, Career Source, Pasco Hernando. Teens earn OSHA certification and get paid for work done during the program. So I love that program. That's interesting, and I think that's a big part of our economy, needs to be in the future a big part of our economy. You know, more of the trades, more of those plumbers, electricians, construction, even flights, pilots getting certifications, and then also nursing, of course, is a big one in Florida. But we're going to welcome in John Long, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. Let's jump right into it. Got a lot of ground to cover, but the technology piece is the thing that's really cool with what you are doing, and United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, USIHT.org.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, the technology, technology is used by traffickers to sell individuals. We know that, Backpage is no longer in existence, but that just means there's a million other things that took its place. So we know that the technology is being used in a negative way. But what we're doing at the U.S. Institute Against Human Trafficking is we're using that technology in a positive way.
Nice.
So since we've created this technology, it's been about 3 years. We've sent out about over 1.3 million texts to potential victims of sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Just scraping the internet, getting their phone numbers, and then sending out just a blanket text that says, hey, if you want to get out of this life, we have a way to help you get out. Some of them respond and say, don't ever contact me again. I don't want help. I'm doing this because I want to do it.
Yeah.
But we do get those text messages that say, I really need help getting out.
Wow.
And the number one way is a job. And so we connect them with local resources of getting a job. Also, a lot of them come with a criminal history. And so we connect them with legal services to get some of that stuff erased, because it's hard to get a job when you show up with a prostitution charge.
Yeah.
When you weren't really a prostitute, you were being trafficked.
Get that expunged.
So we get them jobs, we help them with legal services, and then get them into a house. And so just using our community resources is the number one way. And another technology that's been around now for about 9 years, it's called Trafficking. And Trafficking is when you go to a hotel, you take a picture of your hotel. It gives you instructions on how to take a picture of your room. And then what they do with those pictures is they create this catalog of hotel rooms, and they can actually watch videos that are online and identify what hotel they're in just by what kind of pictures are hung in the room, what kind of lamps are being used. And so that's one way that law enforcement now is really fighting trafficking, as they scrape and they see these ads of a girl in a picture.
I love that.
They can identify where she's at. She's not always there when they get there, but it helps them
puts them on the trail.
Yeah,
at least puts the dogs on the trail, and then now they're like, okay, well, did she talk to so and so at the front check-in desk? Did they get breakfast here? Is there a Starbucks on the corner? Or, that's interesting. We're talking with John Long here, United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And wow, that's shocking technology. I love that idea.
The technology is really, really catching up, especially during the pandemic. We've all kind of increased our technology. Most time when you go to a hotel now, everything is contactless. You don't even have to see a manager. But now, using that non-contact form of opening the doors, people in the hotel can tell if you've opened your door at an abnormal amount of time. And they can tell if you've opened it from the inside or the outside. And so they're using that technology to maybe identify potential situations in their hotel when they've got, one room that's opened their door 90 times in one night. That's extremely higher than average. And so the technology is definitely helping to fight.
Let's swing by and see what's going on. What kind of party they got going there? Yeah, absolutely. So that's smart move. And you had mentioned also 70 kids arrested.
Yeah, out in West Texas, they did. It's called Operation Lost Souls, where they had these missing children, and they found them throughout Texas. They found about 70 of them. A majority of them were being trafficked, which means they're being sold for sex, and the youngest one is 10 years old.
Jeez Louise.
And so, crazy. It's happening at the border. People are coming across. Last month was one of the highest months we've had of contact at the border ever. And so it's not a border issue; it's a United States issue. You know, that every state is a border state,
right?
Because if it's not, it starts in Texas maybe, but it makes its way to Florida. It makes its way up north, and so it's all of our issues.
Yeah, and they're trying to send them into the interior as far as they can, tuck them away, and the strategy is going to backfire. They think that these people are going to vote Democrat when they come here. I mean, these you're talking about primarily Latin America. You know, now what's scary is, and I've got a clip for this, that it's actually you're getting a lot of people from the Middle East. But I'm going back to my prior point. You're talking about Latin America, Mexican. You know, these folks have values and ethics. Okay, they're not like the which party, right? Okay, so they're a little bit different in terms of what their makeup is. They think they're going to vote a certain way, but they're actually not. It's going to backfire. Plus, you got the federal government allowing this to happen. So it goes to the spiritual warfare. I mean, you got good versus evil here. People that believe in an afterlife, Christian, Jewish, whatever, good people of all types of different ethnicities. But we're at the point where this is bad stuff going on at the southern border, and our government is enabling it.
Yeah. And we come in contact a lot with undocumented individuals. They're highly trafficked in the labor field because they don't feel comfortable of going to law enforcement. And so when we look, who are they going to vote for? Are they going to vote blue or red? They're probably not going to vote at all because they have that fear that that's another way they're being tracked. So this theology that if we can just bring over 6 million
that's
people,
a good point.
Which it's estimated that in 2022 we could have 6 million people that come across that southern border.
Wow.
Which is in 2020 I believe it was 1.7.
How many of those are terrorists? How many of those are gang members? How many of those are killers? How many of those are John Long on the Consumer Quarterback Show? I want to play this quick clip, and I'm going to come back to that. But this is kind of on that topic.
This is what happens when you go into places like Iraq and Afghanistan and you don't know what you're doing. You're not going to have nation building. Remember the blue fingers and all that? You do not understand history. You don't understand the cultures of this. It's guys like Jan to go over there. And you've got a perfect storm brewing. And that perfect storm's coming up right up through your southern border. Millions of people. And they're going to get them deep in the country as possible to make it impossible to extricate them later on.
So think about how many people in the Middle East that we pissed off.
Right.
And what kind of groups and what kind of I mean, they went to the extent to fly airplanes, into the buildings in New York.
Absolutely.
And what are they? We're just letting them come through the southern border. Which party's doing that again? You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Sure, and we've got that myth that everyone's coming across the southern border is Mexican, kind of like you said. But it's been proven that people from China, people from Russia, people from the Middle East are making their way to Central America and then crossing the border through that way because there's very little oversight. And not only are we trafficking people, which brings terrorists, brings the unknown, but it also increases the drug trade. And we know that right now fentanyl is huge coming from Mexico. They're saying that China's sending it to Mexico, crossing the border illegally there. And fentanyl is the number one killer of individuals between the ages of 18 and 45 right now.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just increasing.
Yeah, it really is. When you look at the drugs, the gang, all of that net of everything coming over, man, it's just unbelievable. I think you really need to have some impeachments when is just as quickly as can be turned around in November, December, and unbelievable stuff happening. How can our audience assist? It's so easy for some folks out there to be able to maybe write a check, help out, volunteer. But this is such a great organization. John Long and his team at the United States Institute Against Human Trafficking, they are doing God's work. They're helping children that are being trafficked across the border at different types of events. We talked about Super Bowl, big time events, bringing that type of that element to the party. But technology side, you guys need money to operate. How can folks help?
Yeah, we're a small nonprofit trying to fight this fight, not just locally, but nationally. And so we depend heavily on individuals, churches, businesses to support us. The number one thing that we ask people to do is just get educated. And maybe human trafficking is not the thing that gets you angry. Find what injustice, find what social issue really gets you fired up and get involved in those things. If it's homelessness, we've got 1,600 homeless people just in this local area right here.
Wow.
And which is an increase from last year when they did their count. When big events like the Super Bowl, the calls to the National Human Trafficking Hotline increased by 166%.
Wow.
So when big events come in town, so volunteering with us and local partners in fighting this fight when big events come in, educating yourself. And really what we ask is that parents get involved in their kids' lives.
Yes.
Don't just give them the phone and send them to their room. Kids shouldn't have a computer in the room, maybe in a central location so you can see what they're doing.
Exactly.
We have hundreds of reports of kids that are being trafficked online and the parents don't even know it's happening.
Yeah.
So being involved in your kid's life, talking to them what trafficking looks like, loving on them so nobody else has to, being present and just spending time with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Get them involved in church. Get them involved in a youth group, kids soccer, baseball, football, something, whatever it is. Be involved in the life. I think yes, that's right. Technology. There's two sides to it, right? Sure. It's great. I mean, look at what you guys were doing. 1.3 million text messages sent out. And then the flip side is that absentee parent that uses it as that crutch to say, oh, here, go play with the Johnny, play with that, and so it's an issue. But yeah, that's a great thought though. About a minute left. Back to you, man.
Yeah, again, I would just say educate yourself, educate your church, educate your business. We believe that this is something that the blue and red can get behind. This is something that anybody should be able to push for. It's a social issue we all need to fight. It's a grassroots movement. If you go to our website, usiaht.org, there's training for individuals. There's also abolitionist training, which we help you get involved in involving your local government and making sure your community fights this fight. Just south of us, Charlotte County declared the whole county a trafficking-free zone, which means all their employees, county employees, have to be trained on what human trafficking is, what it looks like, and what to do if you encounter it. Wow. And we challenge all our local counties to do that.
Yeah, so I wonder why we haven't.
That's a great question.
Yeah, say it again. They did what now? It's called...
So it's a trafficking-free zone. You go to our website, usiaht.org. All the information's there. Anyone can do it, an individual, a business, or a church. A county can do it. Again, Charlotte's one here. Alabama, there are about 60 counties in Alabama that have done it.
Wow, awesome. John Long, pleasure having you in. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Take care. And Doug Levi as well on the show, Diane Vance, and another great show. Check out the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube channel, and thank you so much for all your support. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, do something kind for one another, and be a force for good in the community. ConsumerQB.com. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rhymes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.